Hi friends, it's Kass. Welcome back to another great episode of Kass's World. Welcome back to me in my true crime era. That's what we'll say. Yes, I'm in my true crime era, and we're going to talk about the rise and the fall of the Cannibal Cafe. And ultimately, the interesting case that led to the Cannibal Cafe being shut down in 2002 by the German authorities. So first, you might be asking what the Cannibal Cafe is. Now, I will say this. The Cannibal Cafe, there's a food restaurant that was called the Cannibal Cafe that recently got shut down. It was a burger place, but what we're talking about is the website. What exactly is the Cannibal Cafe? It was an online website where men and women around the world could ultimately come together and express their cannibalistic fantasies. Someone who wanted to be eaten or someone who wanted to do the eating. So please remember, the Cannibal Cafe ran from 1994 all the way to 2002. And then again, the internet and the World Wide Web was honestly still pretty fresh to people, and people were really comfortable with being themselves on there and, expressing themselves and no consequences. The Cannibal Cafe, once again, created in 1994 by Pero Loco, a cult leader from California, I believe. I couldn't find much information about him on there, online. But, yeah. Pero Loco is a fake name he used online. And, him himself, he describes himself as an average looking guy, but the picture I'm looking at online, he has like these really deep teal blue ass eyes and a bushy ass mustache. Like, honestly, I'd have to say he average is far from what he looks like, but hey, I'm not trying to judge. So, Pero Loco worked many years, surprisingly, as an EMT, so he's obviously educated in this whole medical field, dealing with flesh, blood, and all that jazz. He also had a daughter, but we'll get into that in a minute. I couldn't find much information on that either. He kept and also keeps his life pretty, private. So his cult actually was called the Holy Church of Dulcet, and honestly, all I could say was it was really just women joining in and, wanting in, living the life of wanting to be eaten, just cannibalism, really. But he also called himself a prophet, and we know how that goes for most cult leaders, interestingly enough. Now, the Cannibal Cafe was under a server called the Necrobabes, which was obviously for people into necrophilia, getting freaky with dead bodies, all that jazz. But once again, these websites, they weren't private, they weren't, you didn't need secret access. Anybody could access them all around the world at any time. Nothing was a secret, and people were okay, in the authenticity, once again, of it. So this was an easy accessed website. Paraloco on the website had a section where it was very graphic pictures. I didn't find any of them, but graphic pictures of women voluntarily, wanting to be slaves, wanting to be eaten, women you could buy, one of them being his own daughter, surprisingly. But yeah, that's a little bit about him. Now, into the website. Now, if you do want to see certain archives of the website, you can on the Wayback Machine, and there's certain forums on Reddit where you can kind of get a glimpse of it. But before we get into the case, I will read you just average ads and posts you could see, in there. Hold on. Oh, okay, so I'll read you the first message you're going to see when you enter. Welcome to the Cannibal Cafe message board. This board is like the rest of the website. Has been provided by necrobabes.com via their necrobabes.org server. They have provided all server space and bandwidth, so please take the time to visit them and check out what they have to offer this community. Meanwhile, we here at the Cannibal Cafe, in association with the California and Midwest Human Female Stockman's Association, hope that you will use and enjoy this forum for the exchange of messages and notices. Me or the C and MHFSA, and will make every attempt to respond to your concerns promptly. Please feel free to offer suggestions concerning what you would like to see added to the website, and feel free to write to me personally and or send images or stories or any content that you would like to see on the website. As far as this forum is concerned, please don't post any underage stuff, and please refrain from personal invective, spam, and other obnoxious activities. Thanks and welcome. Pero. It's a very nice opening greeting. Their rule was no spam and no minors. That sounds like the fucking rules of a Discord server. Honestly, I could see this being like someone sick would probably recreate this into a Discord server just because of so many of the fucking advancements of like social media. Some sick bastard would probably recreate all of this. Now I'm gonna read one of the forums someone posted by Kass on April 30th, 2001. Hi, I am a 5'9", tall, long, red hair down to the middle of my back, blue eyes, and very plump, large C cup. I have nice arms or rump roast as you would like. Oh, I have nice hams or rump roast as you would like. How would you cook me? And do you have an official brand I could be branded with? Willing to be a pig or cow? Someone responded to Kath and said, Dear Kath, sounds yummy. I think that it would be for the best, particularly if you want all the potential buyers and meat graders to be aware of you. Would be for you to download one of the 2 downloadable versions of the livestock application on the website. Yes, you could fill out a application to be eaten and sold as livestock and your human meat. Hello? Oh, my mic technical difficulties, I think. But you could fill out an application to where you could ultimately, see yourself to be eaten. It was just honestly on there, men looking for men looking for women, and ideally short, buxom, thin redheads. Very few posts women for looking for women, though. There were a lot of threads devoted to human meat, sold fresh and frozen, and, people wanting to be livestock. It was just all sorts of things you could run into on this website. Some names or handles used were Pig Slut or Masochist Mr. Way. Another forum reads, if anyone wants to eat an 18-year-old gorgeous male by any means you wish, then just tell me how you would feel whilst devouring my horny flesh into your belly, and I will reply to you so we can discuss real arrangements. Please eat me. And then, our well-known serial killer. Armin, his real name was Armin, Wisest, responds to this saying, "Hi, I am Frankie from Germany. I will eat you." And he followed that message with an email address. So yeah, interestingly, this was like your normal any day running Discord server, just online with fucking cannibals. But it's interesting though, I guess. Now, let's get into two men from Germany. Armin Maiwis and Berlin Jürgen Armando Brandes. This case is what ultimately ended the Cannibal Cafe and got it taken down. And note, Germany was not even illegal at the time. And yeah, cannibalism was not illegal in Germany. And surprisingly, in 2020, I believe there is rumored to be, or I guess statistically, rumored to be like 800 cannibalists in Germany. I guess cannibalism is kind of big in Germany, honestly. Kind of creepy. It's like every time I hear some kind of like weird horror movie kind of shit, it always takes place in Europe. Like that movie, Human Centipede, that motherfucker was German. Like, Germany, what do we got going on over there? And this is supposed to be a clean, good country. You know, the food is all quote unquote pure and better than American food. And y'all motherfuckers over there eating humans. Interesting. Now, let's get into Armin Maiwis. I think I'm saying his last name wrong, so I'm just gonna call him Armin. Armin was born in Germany December 1st, 1961. His father left him his mother and siblings. His mother left him. His father left him and his mother, but he had other siblings from his father with another woman. So it was just Armin that he left, I believe. But he left around age 8, and he was raised by his mother, which he often described as overbearing, obviously overprotective, just all up in the business, And this even carried on into adulthood, as he did rely on his mother for a lot. But back to his early childhood. Armin took a liking to the story Hansel and Gretel, and his favorite part of the story was when the witch was fattening the children to eat, and that really kind of just sparked his curiosity of like cannibalism at like a very early age, and just something he was really interested in. Now, he didn't have many friends. He was kind of a lonely child, but the friends that Armin did sort of have, he once again fantasized about eating. So yeah, the cannibalistic tendencies and fantasies really started at like an early age for him. So yeah, in his adult years, Armin, not even gonna try to, I tried to one last time to get it right. Armin was a computer technician. Nice little decent job. And, yeah. So, 2 years after his mother died in 1999, 2001, Armin decides to actually live out his cannibalistic dreams, and he's looking for someone to eat. And not slaughter, but to eat. So, he put up an ad in the Cannibal Cafe saying he wanted a young, well-built man who wanted to be eaten. And once again, he didn't want to slaughter them, but he did want to eat them and cook them. And yeah. Now, Armin didn't go by Armin, in the chat rooms and on the websites. He went by the name he had two names. Frankie or how do you say this? How do you say this word? It was some other what was it? It's right here. Antrophagus or Frankie. Now, there's a little backstory on why he called himself Frankie. Growing up, Armin made an imaginary brother named Frankie, which he would talk to frequently, and it was just a part of his childhood, this imaginary brother, which he carried on the persona of the brother, I guess, into, the online world. So, he uploaded ads and forums looking for someone to consume, once again. Someone between the ages of 18 and 30, a young, well-built man, and, someone who wanted to be cooked and eaten. And, surprisingly, not in the Cannibal Cafe. This is what some people get wrong. He met his victim, Berlin Jurgen Armando Brandes, in a Yahoo chat room for gay men into cannibalism. And although he did post the forum in the Cannibal Cafe, that's not where they met. And this was even pointed out during the case to the German police. And, still people went with the narrative that they met in the Cannibal Cafe. But he was up in the Cannibal Cafe, though. That's not wrong. Yeah. Common misconception. They met in a Yahoo group for gay men into cannibalism. Now, when it comes to Berlin Brandes, I can't find much about his life, but I do know he was a software engineer who lived 250 miles away from Armin. Damn it. They both got Armin and Armando in their name. He lived 250 miles away from Armin. Now, these two first officially communicated in February of 2001, and once again, Brandes was not ideally what Armin wanted as in a victim to consume, but over time talking and growing, I guess, the connection, he was okay with consuming him. And this is Armin's first time having a victim in finding someone to consume, which obviously he does, because, there's obviously a fucking case behind it. But, yeah. So I have some of their chat messages here. I'll read. Hello, or hallo. I speak German, so that's how they said it. But Brandes went by Cater99 online. Hello, Cater99 says. Antrophagus. Hi, Cater. What do you do professionally that you are up late at night? Cater99. I can't sleep well anymore because of our meeting. And Antrophagus. That's a sensible reason. Yesterday I was incredibly tired. It was a stressful day. Cater99. I'm in telecommunications. Antrophagus. Oh, that sounds interesting. Cater99. I believe you. Antrophagus. I'm looking forward to our meeting. It will definitely be really cool. Cater99. I want it to be. I hope it'll be really cool. Are you setting an alarm clock? Antrophagus. Antrophagus. It's only a few days until March 9th. Cater99. Still, I would rather I would have rather met you yesterday and felt your teeth. Antrophagus. One can't have everything. There's still some time before you really feel my teeth. Cater 99. I hardly know what to expect. Have you slaughtered a man before? Antrophagus. Unfortunately, only in my dreams, but in my thoughts, I do it every night. Cater 99. So I'm the first. You have eaten human flesh before, or you haven't. Antrophagus. No, you don't exactly find it in the supermarket, unfortunately. Cater 99. How do you know if it will taste good to you, or that the blood won't make you sick? Antrophagus. I'm readying myself with my dreams. Once I was so excited, I grabbed a needle and drew my own blood so I could drink it. Antrophagus. Unfortunately, only... Oh, I already read that shit. Cater 99. And your blood, it tasted good to you? Antrophagus. It was quite tasty. Once I was drilling some holes and the drill slipped right into my hand. That was a real treat. Blood is the juice of life. It contains everything a person needs for nutrition. Cater 99. Then I hope you won't wilt. That you can really see it through without a problem. Antrophagus. To bite into your penis will certainly not be easy. Living flesh is somewhat more resistant than fried. But one thing is for certain. Our dream will be fulfilled. That is the end of the chat log that I found. Now, once again, this is only a couple days before they met. They officially met and he was killed March 9th, 2001. Armin was 39. So February 5th, there is a message of them saying, Brandis, aka Cater, wrote to Armin, aka Antrophagus, saying, I hope you're really serious about it, because I really want it, and I have already met enough cyber cannibals. And, well, Armin was about that life. He was about that life. So, yeah. So the two met up, and, well, they lived out their dreams. So, let's get into the details. So, my bad, y'all. I got kind of a script here, believe it or not. Yeah. My bad, y'all. Another really big thing, Brandis had like a his main thing that he wanted to happen throughout this whole thing was he really wanted his penis to be bitten off. Like, that was like his thing. So, yeah. Now, March 9th, Brandis took the day off of work, and he had sold off all his personal belongings and, all his valuables, erased his hard drive, and he bought a one-way ticket to Kass, which is where Armin lived. Well, yeah, where he lived. But Armin picked him up from the bus station and drove him back to his home. So before actually they got to the house, they drove to a drugstore and they purchased painkillers. Yeah, just painkillers. Surprisingly, when they got there, Brandis did actually have second guesses, but he got back in the mode and he swallowed 20 sleeping pills, cough syrup, and a bottle of schnapps just to go through with it. And, what was this? Armin videotaped everything. Now, the first thing that happened on this videotape was Armin tried to bite off his penis, but that didn't work. He then tried using a kitchen knife, and he tried to feed it to Brandis, but it wasn't enough to chew. So then he fried it in salt, pepper, wine, garlic, and Brandis's own body fat. Brandis only managed to take one bite of it. And, obviously he's bleeding out because his penis just cut off. So, he went in and out of consciousness. And Armin accidentally burned the penis. He grounded it up and fed it to his dog. He put Brandis in the bath and left him to read Star Trek, checking on him for 15 minutes. Ultimately, I guess, waiting for him, to die out. So, Armin then stabbed him in the throat and hung his body on a meat hook to drain. He dismembered him on a butcher block and placed his flesh in meal-sized portions in his freezer, basically meal prepping his body. Now, this is 2001, and Armin wasn't caught until 2002. So he really meal prepped. He ate 44 pounds of his flesh over a period of 10 months. So, yeah. I forgot to put a trigger warning. Shit. I'll record one and put that in the beginning of the audio. All in all, he was able to, well, they both were able to live out their fantasies. Now, Willis meal prepping his body and cutting up his corpse, Armin would talk to the corpse, quote on saying, "Shall I cut you in half, my darling?" He also seasoned pieces of the dismembered body parts and flesh with salt, pepper, garlic, rosemary, and green pepper sauce. He described the taste as pork. Interesting. Once again, he continued to eat Brandis until his arrest months later in December. He says himself, Armin says, "I decorated the table with nice candles for his first meal. I took out my best dinner service and fried a piece of rump steak, a piece of his back. Once again, this whole process was recorded, so I saw on a website the pictures and ultimately videos of his body strung up of him preparing the meat. Like, it's a whole rabbit hole to honestly go down. So if you have the stomach for it, be my guest. But there are ultimately images of this. And yeah, he buried his skull and other body parts that couldn't be eaten in his garden. Yeah. So, once again, over a 10 to 20 month period, he consumed Brandis, and he was caught December 10th, 2002. Now, during this period, also, he was looking for more victims until an Austrian college student reported him to the police. And, yeah. The police say when they entered his home, they found a false bottom in his freezer and pounds of flesh. Now, Armin told them it was wild boar meat, but the officers ended up finding the footage of the killing. So, yeah. He wasn't tried and found guilty until January of 2004. But, he was diagnosed with schizoid personality disorder, but everyone deemed him fit to stand trial, according to NBC. And the proceedings, yeah, everything, well, wait, what the fuck? Yeah, everything began in December of 2003, and he was convicted of manslaughter on January 30th, 2004, and he was sentenced to 8 years and 6 months in prison. And during that time, listen to this, he became a vegetarian. Now, he was retried in April of 2005. Prosecutors argued he should have been tried for murder while he was sentenced to life in prison on May 10th, 2006. So his sentence changed. Instead of 8 years, he got life. But he was permitted to wander the streets in disguise as a part of his rehabilitation, being able to wear sunglasses and a hat and roam the streets of Germany. So yeah. I believe, what's that one quote? He said in a 2016 interview, the first bite was, of course, very strange. It was a feeling I can't really describe. I'd spent over 40 years longing for it, dreaming about it, and now I was getting the feeling that I was actually achieving this perfect interconnection through his flesh. The flesh tastes like pork, but stronger. So, yeah. He resides at the Kass Penitentiary, by the way. But yeah, that ultimately is just I mean, that's the story. Now, commentary moment. Do I feel like what happened was sick? Yeah, it's sick. That's horror movie type shit. But everything was made consensually. It wanted, like, this was a wanted experience by both people involved. Brandis wanted this. So it puts in question, is Armin a criminal? Or was he just providing a service for his lover? Fulfilling or helping him fulfill his dreams? Let me know your thoughts in the comments on that. So, back to Perro Loco. The owner of the Cannibal Cafe. He was the source that many media outlets went to, as he is the owner of Cannibal Cafe. He often said to them that they didn't meet in the Cannibal Cafe, which has once again been debunked a lot of times, but people still widely run with the narrative that they met in the Cannibal Cafe, and they didn't. Although Armin posted his ad there, that's not where they met. And his last post in the Cannibal Cafe was September 17th, 2002, a few months before his arrest. Now, an interviewer asked Perro Loco if he felt any guilt about what happened, and he said, "No, I was quite frankly not surprised, though. He is no different than many other people, but at least he has a sense, to some degree, of social responsibility." And he once again is just referring to the fact that everything is consensual, and consensual is one of Loco's favorite words. And we love somebody who takes part in consent. Perro Loco then goes on to say, everything he did completely consensually. It's not like the guy was a fucking serial killer. He didn't sit there and invite Jurgen over for dinner and sneak up behind him. They discussed it. Jurgen wanted to be killed and eaten. To me, that's assisted suicide at worst. And this is not Perro Loco's first time being kinda at fault for another murder. He was once again roped into a case in 1996 with a woman who was looking for a man to torture, strangle, and kill. Once again, everything was consensual. Wait, no, I misread that. Sharon, the lady, she wanted to be killed, tortured, and strangled. And Robert Frederick, the person who helped her act out her fantasy, was caught and put in jail. But he died of a heart attack in jail 2 weeks before his release. So yeah, that is kinda how the Cannibal Cafe, the rise and fall of it, and honestly, the case that ultimately took down the website. R.I.P. the Cannibal Cafe. Like, think of, like, all, like, the weird sickos in the world. And they just have a place to bond and chat with. I mean, your teacher could have been in the Cannibal Cafe and they're writing up forums and shit. the fucking nigga delivering your DoorDash Zaxby's probably was up in that bitch typing up, looking for petite lady to eat. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to think about. Like, this was an open, actual place for people to, like, talk about their cannibalistic fantasies. And, like, now you really have to go to the dark web to even, like, access that kind of shit. But back then, everybody was so open and used to it. And once again, like, I honestly have to say, it was consensual. People wanted this to happen. This was something they were into. So, you have to once again put into this, is this necessarily a bad thing? I don't know. And I think for my next episode, I'm gonna have to look into the case of Sharon Loptica and Robert Frederick, because this actually is not outside of the United States. This took place in North Carolina. But if you want to know if Perro Loco stopped his work at the Cannibal Cafe, nope. He has a current website, I believe. I think it might be shut down, but he created another website called the Dulcet Girls, and what he says, it is dedicated to covering a full range of graphic sexual fantasies. And the site was created in August of 2003, not too long after Armin was caught for his murder, quote unquote. And it has around it had, and this may be different now, 4,000 members, and is split evenly between males and females. And Paraloco says, for every 1.1 males, there's one female. And he even says that the forum viewers include at least one U.S. congressman, as well as politically connected family members, and the average user's age is somewhere in the 40s. Like, you see what I mean? Like, the people that we see in our everyday lives, when they go home, we don't know what the fuck they do. Politicians are looking at, I mean, whatever you're into, freaky is freaky. And once again, the Dulcet Girls website had 2 rules. No spam, and nothing with underage children or, people. Yeah, nothing with underage kids. Which I honestly respect them for that. At least they were trying to keep the kids safe. And, he does say that the website Dulcet Girls is less on trying to find someone to cook and eat, but it's more where people just discuss their fantasies, kinks, and fetishes. And funny enough, they reference Kesha's Cannibal song a lot. And it could be described as a time capsule of the year 2011's internet culture. Just as you could say that the Cannibal Cafe was for 2002. Some things talked about on the Dulcet Girls website is, I quote, I like a low heat around 250 degrees for a long, slow cook. I start out with the meat being tied to the grill alive and kicking. After the meat pass, I remove her from the heat and gut her, and then back to the grill for several more hours. After about 10 to 12 hour cook, the meat just fall off the bone. I shred the meat and mix it with BBQ and red pepper flakes. Very tasty. End quote. They also said something about Miley Cyrus on here, but I'm not going to say that. people make pregnancy announcements on there with photos of stomachs. Something that they got there from Yahoo. How one would dispose of a head. Yeah. Oh, and lots of fan fiction. Celebrity fan fiction. I should be more specific, yeah. Paraloco doesn't make a lot of money from his online work, honestly. But, yeah. Even though the Dulcet Girls website was set up through a subscription kind of based kind of thing, which was run in Toronto, Canada. He also says that when he was cut off financially by the companies, this is the same company that would process child porn and child snuff. So he says, we're probably the only fetish group that the kitty porn people look down on. I guess because they're afraid we're going to have kitty snuff porn. So yeah. And the website mainly runs through PayPal and donations and things of that sort. They also, DGF as he says, has incredibly good incredibly good security software written by one of the best coders in the United States, he quotes. And it is under constant monitoring under the FBI. And interestingly different from the Cannibal Cafe from the early 2000s, this website has a personal chat kind of messaging system. So people aren't out here posting, their forums and posts asking to be eaten, just because this is also, once again, monitored by the FBI. So if you did choose to do a face-to-face meetup, you go into the personal messaging system that they have. But unlike the Cannibal Cafe, the face-to-face interactions and meetups are honestly pretty low, surprisingly. And Loco even says, out of every 100 women who come into the DGF, there will be one who might actually extend herself to meeting with another human face-to-face for this specific person of being a dulcet-ish relationship. For every 1,000 of those people, there might be one who'd be willing to go all the way. And, that's interesting. Even despite there being, low meetup rates on the website, there could possibly always be that one that's about that life. This is, very interesting to me. Yeah. My bad, y'all. I was reading more into the quotes, but honestly, I have to say this was the most interesting, internet, rabbit hole I've been down. So, fun fact, in 2004, cult leader Pero Loco, actually, he created a thread asking people, would you really? Referring to what Armin did, and it gained 1,484 replies and 91,000 views. So, I would really love to hear y'all's thoughts and opinions on this. And if you want me to do an episode on the what was her name? How did I already forget that? I had it written down. If you want me to do a episode on Sharon, what the fuck did I get Rebecca from? Oh, I guess because Robert. Okay, if you want me to do an episode looking into Sharon Lopakta and Robert Frederick, who also met in the Cannibal Cafe, comment and let me know, because I can definitely do that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you do share it, please make sure that you tell them this is graphic and we talk about some graphic things. And if you do decide to even look into this case a little bit deeper and see some of the pictures, make sure you have the stomach for it. You have been warned. They are pretty graphic. So yeah, thank you guys for streaming this episode of Kass's World. I love you guys. I hope I can come back with some more weird, deep internet dives and cases and all that jazz. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for streaming. Bye.